Sup guys, it's your boy Justin here with another game review, our first game review for this year, which is Final Fantasy 16, developed by Square Enix, also published by Square Enix, which is a PS5 exclusive. It's an action JRPG, which came out last year. So, I did an impressions review for this game with my boy Kevin Street, which if you want to watch that impressions review, it's on my Games Reviews playlist. It was a live stream on Kevin Street's channel. So, to avoid repeating myself, because I have a lot of the same criticisms from that video that I still have in this video, okay? So, you know, make sure to check that out, because I'm going to keep this review short. So, this game, man, I was looking forward to this game for a couple of reasons. One, they were going back to the classic medieval fantasy style. And two, they were getting the director of Final Fantasy 14 Reborn or whatever, Rebirth, who a lot of people, whose name is Yoshi P. I forget what, is it Yoshi P? I can't remember. But yeah, people said, like, you know, that game was amazing. I played a little bit of it. And even during Christmas, I tried to sign up for the free trial, the new free trial or whatever, because they said the game's free up till, like, you know, Stormblood or whatever, or including Stormblood. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play it. They wouldn't let me. I tried to make a new account, but they wouldn't let me because I played the free trial. So it's like, what the hell? God damn it! But yeah, I don't know. So I was looking forward to this game. Until I finally saw Let's Plays of it, and I saw Resident Arc's review for it, which Resident Arc's review podcast for it was pretty hilarious. How they loved the game at first, and slowly, like, yeah, this game sucks. Which is not my opinion. I don't think the game sucks. If you were to compare this game to other AAA games, especially the ones of the last year, especially compared to Forspoken, holy crap, this game is a masterpiece compared to Forspoken. Right. My main problem with this game is that it is very derivative of other games. Like, especially, it has, like, very similar combat to Devil May Cry and even like Neo and like Stranger of Paradise, where they even brought back the stagger gauge. The combat is basically a mix of Devil May Cry combat and Neo, Stranger of Paradise. Like, the boss fights very much feels like Strangers of Paradise with the Dark Souls style combat. What's different is that you have the upgrade, like a character action upgrade trees where you can upgrade your character's abilities that he gets from other icons, which there's no point in me talking about the story, because I can't really talk about the story without spoiling anything. Especially the prologue, because the main game doesn't really start till after the prologue. But I will say that, like, the main character, the main stories you play as a character named Clive Rossfield, who is a soldier slave who gets freed by a man named Sid, who's voiced obviously by a Game of Thrones actor, who was also voiced a character in Diablo 4, which we're also going to review this year. And he gets freed and joins this quest to free basically the slaves of the realm from the nobles. At the same time, he wants to get revenge for what happened to him and his family from this mysterious entity. Which, spoiler alert, it turns out to be him. So that was the dumbest thing. Because if you watch the trailers, you know that's him. So it's like, what the hell? That was the dumbest thing, man. That was the dumbest thing. But yeah, the story is basically a combination of Game of Thrones, which, does Clive remind you of anybody? Does Clive remind you of anybody? I wonder who. Who does Clive remind you of? Especially since Clive's main party member in the game, besides from Clive, obviously, is Torgal, who was told is a dog. Turns out later in the game, you find out he's actually a wolf, and not just a regular wolf. He's like an extinct, like special wolf, kind of like the dire wolves from Game of Thrones. Oh my god, man! Like I could list off. There's so much stuff they took from Game of Thrones. I can't even list them all because it's just too much. Especially if you never watched Game of Thrones, you never read the books. You're not gonna know what the hell I'm talking about. So, yeah, the story is basically a combination of Game of Thrones meets X-Men meets Attack on Titans. Because your main character, one of the things that he can do is he can turn into a giant kaiju beast, Ifrit, and fight, like, the other dominants that can also turn into the summons from the Final Fantasy games. Like Titan, Shiva, Odin, Baphomet. For some reason, Baphomet is light, element is light, and Odin is dark, which that made no sense to me. You also have Phoenix, which I think Phoenix is new. I don't remember if Phoenix has been in any of the other games. And you have Rama. And I'm probably and Leviathan is mentioned, but you never see Leviathan. He's apparently a lost icon. Which I don't get what makes Leviathan lost. I don't know. It's probably in the lore. So yeah, the gameplay the gameplay is the combat is basically Devil May Cry meets Stranger Paradise, but there are points in the game where it does kind of get open world where you can do side quests. You can go out, and they actually added hunts from Final Fantasy XII, which was one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. So I enjoyed that they brought back the hunts. There is chocobo riding, which is very very late game that you unlock chocobo riding, which is like, oh my god, like why, like especially since like the game is not really open world. There's points in the map which the world map looks a lot like the model world of Westeros from the Game of Thrones opening, which is another thing they stole from Game of Thrones. So much they stole from Game of Thrones, man. Especially Prince Dion is basically like very much like a combination of lots of Game of Thrones characters. Like I would say he's like a combination of Jaime and Sir Loras, maybe Renly. Oh my god. So much they ripped off from Game of Thrones, dude. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm just repeating myself. I'll just go into my likes and dislikes for the game. Likes. I like the fact that we get an older MC character, which in the prologue you do get to play with him when he's younger, right? When he's like play as him when he's like a teenager. But yeah, the main character is I think he's like 20. He's like most of the game, half the game he's like 25, and at the end he's like 27, 28. The icon designs and the character designs all look good. It's very, like, you can tell it was the same character designer from Final Fantasy XII. They added hunts, they added chocobo riding, lots of side quests to do, and the side quests, though most of the side quests are boring, which is in my dislikes, some of the side quests do feel important, because some of the side characters actually die, and some of the side characters a lot of them you get introduced through main quests. There's crafting in the game. No fishing. They took out fishing from Final Fantasy 15, which is like, why the hell would you take that out? You can swap. You have lots. Not only do you have lots of swords in the game, which you can only equip swords. Problem I have with the game. You can swap the weapon skins. So if you're like, man, which that happens in a lot of RPGs where you'll equip a new weapon and this weapon looks crappier than the one you had before, but has better stats. Here you can swap the skins. So if you don't like how the weapon looks, you can just swap the skin for a weapon you do like, which they have Sephiroth Masamune in this game too, as well. So yeah, which you find in like a chest. Lots of beautiful cinematics, music, and epic cutscenes, and this is a problem that they've had in the last couple Final Fantasy games, 13, 15, where they don't really flesh, even 12, they don't really flesh out the villains. In this game, they actually do flesh out the villains, and not just the main villain near the end of the game, which we're not going to talk about him, which that's when I just noticed the Ultraman figure there. Oh my god. Whatever. Ignore it. Yeah, they actually fleshed out the villains, which is not something they actually they've done in the last couple of Final Fantasy games. It's the last couple of Final Fantasy games, like what are these assholes' motivations again? I don't know. Here it's like, oh, you know everybody's motivations. But that should, like, one guy's thing is revenge, two is like, he's serving his, like, God or whatever, and another one's like self-preservation, right? Yeah, so I thought that was, that was something that they done well in this game. Now we're going to go my dislikes. Holy crap. Dislikes. And all of these are nitpicks that are not going to affect the main score. A lot of this is shit that just bothered the hell out of me. Rips off too much from Game of Thrones, X-Men and Attack on Titan. Kills off best character in the game too early, which that's probably a spoiler, but, who's your favorite character in the game is probably too, it's going to be, open to interpretation. Like, you might have a favorite character that, that's different from mine and who doesn't get killed. Too many features are locked till late game, like hunts, chocobo riding, because the game is not open world. There are pockets of the game where there are kind of huge maps where your character walks very slow, so getting to point A to point B when you can't ride your chocobo until late game was very annoying. They do add fast travel with the blue spire looking monoliths, but yeah, you have to get to those. You have to touch those first before you can unlock them, man. So yeah, too many features. Enemies are damage sponges. It takes way too long to kill enemies. Not the regular enemies, but any enemy that has a stagger gauge is pretty much like a mini boss. Holy crap. The setting feels a bit generic grimdark. Though there are some beautiful backgrounds later in the game, some of the castles, the ruins, and the crystal spires. MC can only equip swords. There's no direct control over party members besides from Torgal. So you have party members that are basically just do their own thing, and a lot of the time it's just you and Torgal most of the game. Though there's a side quest near the end of the game where you can unlock, a certain character who's supposed to be dead, and he can basically become your permanent party member until the end of the game. Then he leaves. So it's but by that point I was like, screw it, I'm just going to go to the final boss. I didn't even do all the side quests. I at some point in the game I was going to do all the side quests. Because I kind of did enjoy doing the side quests. Especially, you have to do the side quests to get certain, not just certain weapons, but to upgrade your potion slots. Which, that's another thing in the game where it's just like in Dark Souls games, and not just Dark Souls, but even action JRPGs, you can only have a limited amount of healing potions you can carry with you. But if you die during a boss fight and retry, they bring back your healing potions. So it's kind of what's the point? But whatever. Even if you use them before that, it's before the boss fight. Just getting to the final boss. Or not the final boss, but Which I did like that the final boss was just, you don't have to go through a dungeon to get to him, because you did that, previously in the previous level. So it's just a series of boss fights. Which I forgot to mention, the kaiju boss battle, the icon boss battles were mostly fun. Though some of the unavoidable, like, so at some points there will be a countdown to like special, like a special attack, and where you have to basically, the enemy's health bar will fill up to purple, and you have to whittle that down to avoid getting hit with the unavoidable special attack. And your character does so little damage, and it takes your ability so long to recharge, and it's like most of the time you're going to get hit by the unavoidable attacks. Oh my god. Clive's mom looks too much like Benedicta, which is another dominant in the game. Which is like, it's kind of like a little weird that Waylude, who has the strongest icon, like how come he didn't conquer the world sooner when he has like, when at one point, didn't he have like 3 icons under his control? And most of the other kingdoms or, you know, countries only had the one. And he has, not only does he have the other icons, you know, he had like the Harpy one, but he also had himself, and I think Rama used to be part of his army. So like, how come he never conquered the world? I don't know, but that seemed, you know, dumb, especially when he's so fucking strong. Oh, yeah, there's you know, side quest, boring side quest. So my final rating in the game is a 6 out of 10. Now this is compared to other Final Fantasy games. As, you know, AAA game, it's at least a 7, maybe 8. Especially, holy crap, compared to Forspoken, some of the other games that came out. Holy crap. So yeah, that's it for this review, guys. I'm going to be posting this review hopefully tomorrow. And my next game review is going to be YS Memories of Celceta. And then for February, we're going to be doing a review for Star Ocean 3 till the end of time. Hopefully. Alright guys, peace out.